Hello, this video is actually the continuation of the video that I have created and published on YouTube in the past. The title of that video is Placing Strings on an Electric Guitar. And the link to that video is here, shown on this card. I'm holding an electric guitar that is modeled to Fender Stratocaster, or simply called Strat. This is actually the guitar that I have restringed in that video, and right now the strings are out of tune. I have not tuned it yet, and I'm gonna show you the strings on the tuning pegs. As you can see, on each tuning peg there's just like one round of, or one turn of the strings. It looks neat, as you can see, as there's just one round of turns on each tuning peg. The method that I have used for restringing is what I call the bite method. Now, if you want to learn about bite method, watch that video that I have mentioned earlier. Before I proceed to tuning the strings of this guitar, there are a number of things that I would like to do first. The neck of a Stratocaster is reinforced with a metal rod called Truss Rod. This is the neck of the guitar, and the truss rod is actually within or inside this neck, and it runs along the entirety of this neck. By looking at on the headstock part, you would see a hole, this one. If you look inside of it, you'd actually see the end of the truss rod. The main function of the truss rod is to correct or facilitate the adjustment of a bowed or hump neck. The process of correcting a hump or bowed neck is actually what we call neck relief. Over a period of time, it's possible that the neck of a guitar could be bent this way, which is what we call a bowed neck. And it is also possible that the neck bends the other way, so this way, and that is what we call a hump neck. A hump or bowed neck might be difficult to determine. It might be difficult to see from the naked eye if the neck is hump or bowed. But let me give you an illustration of what is a bowed and what is a hump neck. This guitar is in pretty good condition. It's very clear to see that the neck of this guitar is neither hump or bowed. Actually, this is a relatively new guitar, and by looking at it, it's clear to see that the neck is not bowed or humped. But how does a neck look if it's humped? Or how does it look if it's bowed? I'll show you an illustration or a visual aid. Here's a visual aid. Since I do not have a guitar that is bowed or humped, then I have to make a visual aid just for you to have an idea of how does a neck look like if it's bowed or humped. I have here a ruler, a stainless steel ruler. On the other side, you see a rubber band that runs along the length of the ruler. Imagine the rubber band as the string and the steel rule or the ruler as the neck of the guitar. Now, as you can see, the string is relatively parallel along the line of the ruler or the plane of the ruler. Now, imagine this as the neck of the guitar. Over a period of time, Since the strings, here I'm showing you just one rubber band which represents a string. But in reality, there are 6 strings for a guitar, right? And the strings come in different gauges or thicknesses. But let's just consider one rubber band to represent a string. So here you see a neck which is laid this way. And so here you see the string parallel to the neck of the guitar, right? Or parallel to the steel rule. Now, over a period of time, since the strings are in high tension and there are 6 of them, it pulls the ends of the neck. So in the process, it slowly or gradually goes this way. Now, this is the condition when the guitar is bowed. So you can imagine it looks like the bow of a bow and arrow. And what's the problem of a bowed guitar? Now you can imagine that when the neck is bowed, the distance between the strings and the neck becomes further and farther, right? So it's possible though. So when that happens, pressing a string would require a lot of pressure, would require so much of a pressure, as there's so much of a distance to press the string down to the neck. And so the playability is hard, and that makes your fingertip painful. So that's the case of a bowed neck. Now what about a hump neck? A hump neck is when the bending goes the other way, when it goes like this. So now you can see that the string begins to touch the neck at a certain point or certain parts of it. And that condition is very bad, as you won't be able to play the notes properly. And there will be a lot of buzzing sounds that you can hear from your playing when the neck is humped, because the strings is now touching the neck. So when the neck is bowed, we relieve it from the condition of bow by means of a truss rod. And when the neck is humped, we relieve it from the condition of hump by means of the truss rod. There are a lot of videos that you can find from the internet or from YouTube regarding how to fix or how to adjust the neck with a truss rod when it is humped or bowed. There are plenty of videos that you can find from the internet, and they're pretty good ones. So I don't have to make one, as I don't have a neck that is bowed or humped. You can check how much of a bow or hump the neck has taken by sighting down along the neck of the guitar. This is called the visual method. This is done by holding up the neck of the guitar at eye level and sighting along the fingerboard or fretboard on both treble and bass edges or sides. I just mentioned fingerboard or fretboard. Which are those? Actually, fingerboard is this entirety where you have this surface. It's called fingerboard because it's the board where you put your fingers on when you play the guitar. It's also called fretboard because these spaces, which are divided by these wires, are called frets. So this is first fret, second fret, third fret. And these metal wires are called fret wires. So since these are frets, so this whole thing is what we call fretboard. Now, if you're not familiar to parts of a guitar, you can check out this link, and this is the link. And the fretboard has two edges or two sides. This side or this edge, which is what we call bass edge or bass side, because this is where, on this side is where you have the bass strings. And the other edge or side is what we call the treble side or treble edge, because it's where you have the treble strings. By the way, the strings of the guitar, there are 6 of them, right? But 3 of them look the same. I mean, these 3, they look the same. They are coiled. And these are the bass strings. While the other 3 looks plain, and these are the treble strings. So this side where you have the bass string is called the bass side or bass edge of the neck or of the fingerboard or fretboard. And this side is what we call the treble side of the neck or fretboard or fingerboard. And to check how much of a hump or bowed your neck or the neck of the guitar has taken, the visual method tells you to sight down or sight along the treble edge of the guitar, which what I'm doing now, and it looks good. And sighting down on the other side on the bass edge or bass side of the fingerboard or fretboard, and it looks good. It doesn't show that it's humped or bowed. So this neck is in pretty good condition, and that's what we call the visual method. But this method of finding out whether the neck is humped or bowed is not very precise, especially if one's eyes are not trained for sighting down the neck or for sighting, and also if the eyes or the person has difficulty distinguishing whether a line is straight or not. If you suspect that the neck of your guitar needs correction or adjustment, there are technicians that can do it for you. They are specialized, or they have specialized in this trade, and they have tools to do the work precisely. If you are in the Philippines or residing in Metro Manila, I have 2 friends that I can recommend to you who can do the work for you. Their specialty is not just confined on neck issues, but any issues concerning the whole guitar, whether your guitar is electric or acoustic. Now that I have checked the condition of the neck of this guitar, I can now move to the next thing, string action, and that will be covered in the next video. So see you!